You're ignoring the breakfast that naturally controls dangerous blood sugar spikes, and your glucose levels are heading toward diabetic catastrophe faster than you realize. If you're over 60 and want to escape the terrifying cycle of insulin, resistance, dangerous sugar crashes, and the devastating reality of type 2 diabetes that's destroying the health and independence of millions of seniors, this powerful food combination isn't optional. It's absolutely crucial for your metabolic survival. Without it, your blood sugar continues to spike and crash at an alarming rate while insulin resistance builds in your cells, leaving your body vulnerable to the sudden, life-threatening complications that send thousands of seniors to emergency rooms with diabetic crises every single day. This combination revitalizes your failing glucose control, rebuilds your deteriorating insulin sensitivity, recharges your rapidly declining metabolic function, and restores proper blood sugar regulation that you're losing with each passing meal. No expensive diabetes medications with dangerous side effects that damage your kidneys and increase infection risk. No risky pharmaceutical interventions that mask symptoms without healing. Just 3 natural foods that could literally save your life from the next blood sugar emergency. And wait until you hear about the shocking discovery researchers made about seniors who don't control their blood sugar naturally. The diabetes progression accelerates 150% faster and triggers life-threatening complications more unpredictably than anyone realizes. Let's get started before another dangerous glucose spike passes. And if you're finding this valuable already, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more seniors discover this potentially life-saving blood sugar information. Your blood sugar regulation, that delicate metabolic balance that has kept you healthy for decades, is now failing at catastrophic rates. And groundbreaking research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association reveals why this metabolic breakdown is becoming the leading cause of disability and death in the senior population. A landmark study following over 15,000 seniors for 20 years found that blood sugar dysregulation increases the risk of heart attack by 280%, stroke by 150%, and kidney failure by 340%, compared to those maintaining optimal glucose control. It doesn't matter if you feel fine or have never been officially diagnosed with diabetes. Every single day your blood sugar spikes above normal levels, microscopic damage accumulates in your blood vessels, nerves, and organs, leaving you increasingly vulnerable to the sudden complications that can destroy your independence overnight. Research from the National Institute of Diabetes shows that 88 million American adults have prediabetes, with 84% completely unaware their blood sugar is already dangerously elevated and progressing toward full diabetes. The metabolic destruction is immediate and relentless, perfect for creating the exact conditions that turn manageable blood sugar into diabetic emergencies, healthy insulin function into dangerous resistance, and independent living into medical crisis after medical crisis. The basic glucose dysregulation affects multiple organ systems. It attacks your cardiovascular health, kidney function, and nervous system with relentless toxicity, accelerating the dangerous deterioration that happens with each passing day in those who ignore blood sugar control. But here's what makes this even more terrifying for seniors, according to research from Harvard Medical School. Blood sugar problems don't just increase diabetes risk. When glucose remains chronically elevated, it creates what researchers call glycation, a process where sugar molecules bind to proteins throughout your body, creating toxic compounds that accelerate aging and organ damage. The American Diabetes Association reports that uncontrolled blood sugar is a contributing factor in over 250,000 deaths per year, with the vast majority being seniors whose glucose could have been controlled naturally. From actually damaging the delicate lining of your blood vessels that leads to heart attacks and strokes, to destroying the filtering mechanisms in your kidneys that can lead to dialysis dependency, these destructive effects show the quiet but deadly impact of uncontrolled blood sugar that could mean the difference between metabolic health and joining the devastating statistics of America's diabetes epidemic. And here's where that shocking 150% faster diabetes progression becomes critically important. A study published in Diabetes Care followed 5,000 seniors and found that those with poor blood sugar control had cellular aging patterns that made them biologically 12 to 18 years older than their chronological age, with organ damage accumulation that was irreversible once advanced stages were reached. What's particularly alarming is that blood sugar dysregulation often progresses silently, earning it the nickname the silent killer. You might feel perfectly fine while your glucose levels are systematically damaging every organ in your body. By the time you experience obvious symptoms like excessive thirst, frequent urination, or unexplained fatigue, significant metabolic damage may have already occurred. One key point that could save your life: start controlling your blood sugar naturally before you develop diabetes, not after you've received a diagnosis. Research from the University of California shows that early intervention with natural blood sugar control can prevent or reverse prediabetes in up to 71% of cases, but waiting until full diabetes develops reduces success rates to less than 23%. And if you're shocked by how dangerous uncontrolled blood sugar really is, hang tight, because what's coming next will show you the glucose-regulating power of blueberries. Nature's most potent natural blood sugar stabilizer that works in ways endocrinologists are just beginning to understand. In fact, this is where that devastating diabetes progression statistic becomes critically reversible, because blueberries provide the exact compounds needed to restore and protect your failing glucose control systems. But before we reveal this blood sugar-saving ingredient, if you're finding this information helpful, take a quick second to tap that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos on powerful natural remedies for blood sugar control. You simply can't afford to miss what's coming next. Now let's dive into the amazing metabolic benefits of blueberries, and why not having them in your daily routine could be accelerating your diabetes risk and glucose vulnerability. Blueberries are, without exaggeration, one of the most important natural medicines for halting and reversing the dangerous blood sugar elevation and insulin resistance that intensify with each passing year after 60. Revolutionary research published in the Journal of Nutrition reveals that blueberries contain unique compounds called anthocyanins that can improve insulin sensitivity by up to 22% within just 6 weeks of regular consumption. When used correctly, they become a kind of natural pharmacy for your increasingly vulnerable metabolic system, depleted glucose control mechanisms, and weakening insulin response. A groundbreaking study from Harvard School of Public Health, tracking over 200,000 participants for 24 years, found that those consuming blueberries regularly had a 23% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those avoiding these powerful berries. Even more shocking, seniors who ate blueberries just 3 times per week showed measurable improvements in glucose tolerance and insulin function within 1 month. The idea is, restore your body's natural glucose regulation so you can rebuild what matters: processing sugar without the frightening spikes that damage your organs, maintaining insulin sensitivity without dangerous resistance that leads to diabetes, and supporting metabolic function that rapidly deteriorates in the face of chronic glucose elevation and poor dietary choices. If you're looking to halt the terrifying progression of diabetes, restore natural blood sugar control, or simply experience the metabolic stability that most of your peers have forgotten exists, this is a non-negotiable pillar of your glucose protection regimen. Research from Tufts University shows that blueberries activate powerful glucose-regulating processes thanks to their exceptional anthocyanin content that works in a deep, controlled way to restore metabolic function that you're losing daily without this crucial food. But there's more, and this is where that shocking diabetes reversal becomes possible. Blueberries also contain one of the highest natural concentrations of fiber and antioxidants, compounds that over 85% of seniors are dangerously deficient in, which directly impacts your glucose absorption rate, insulin receptor sensitivity, and your body's ability to process carbohydrates without dangerous blood sugar spikes. Another landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors consuming blueberries daily showed a 33% improvement in glucose tolerance and 28% better insulin response compared to those avoiding these foods, while also showing significantly reduced hemoglobin A1C levels, the gold standard measurement for long-term blood sugar control. That means you're not only working to improve current glucose management, but also protecting your entire metabolic system from the sugar-related damage that most seniors are experiencing at an accelerating rate due to poor dietary choices. You don't have to think of blueberries as just a sweet treat. You benefit from them every time you support critical insulin receptor function, rebuild dangerously depleted antioxidant stores that protect against glucose-induced damage, or strengthen your metabolic system against the constant assault of blood sugar fluctuations that become increasingly dangerous with age. Mastering the use of blueberries is key to both immediate glucose control and prevention against the devastating diabetes complications that kill more seniors than cancer, accidents, and infections combined. Research from the University of Maine reveals that blueberries contain the highest concentration of natural glucose-regulating compounds, substances absolutely essential for maintaining healthy blood sugar and preventing insulin resistance, that researchers were shocked to discover is completely absent in typical senior diets. Studies have shown that anthocyanin deficiency dramatically impairs your body's ability to process glucose efficiently, making blueberry consumption particularly valuable for seniors dealing with energy crashes, sugar cravings, and the terrifying dawn phenomenon where blood sugar spikes dangerously upon waking. But wait until you hear what happens when we add the protein-rich dairy component that transforms this from a simple fruit into a glucose-stabilizing powerhouse. And this is where those shocking blood sugar control results I mentioned become truly remarkable. I'll share that shortly, but first, you need to understand that for those with existing glucose concerns, something that becomes critically common with age, blueberries provide a natural solution that could quite literally save your life from the next diabetic emergency. The natural fiber in blueberries slows glucose absorption, preventing the dangerous spikes that damage blood vessels and organs throughout your body. Many seniors find that improved glucose control leads to better energy levels, reduced sugar cravings, and even improved cognitive function due to stable brain glucose supply. While those with erratic blood sugar struggle daily with fatigue, mood swings, and brain fog, they incorrectly attribute to just getting old. To incorporate blueberries effectively before it's too late, start with half a cup of fresh or frozen blueberries daily, preferably organic to avoid pesticide residues that can interfere with glucose metabolism. You can eat them fresh, add them to other foods, or blend them into smoothies. The key is consistency. Daily consumption provides the most significant blood sugar benefits, whether you're addressing current glucose concerns or hoping to prevent the frightening diabetes progression that comes from ignoring this crucial metabolic food. Now here's where the real metabolic magic happens, and where I'll finally reveal how that devastating 150% faster diabetes progression can be completely stopped and reversed. When you add plain Greek yogurt to your blueberries, you're not just adding protein, you're creating a synergistic effect that could literally save your life from the next blood sugar crisis or diabetic emergency that threatens seniors. And this is truly critical information backed by research from the American Diabetes Association, showing that the combination of antioxidant-rich fruits with high-protein dairy can reduce diabetes risk by up to 47% in adults over 60. A revolutionary study published in Diabetologia, following over 25,000 participants for 11 years, found that those consuming yogurt regularly had a 28% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes, with the protective effects being most pronounced when combined with berries rich in anthocyanins, like blueberries. When Greek yogurt is combined with blueberries, you're addressing multiple aspects of rapidly declining metabolic health simultaneously. The high-quality protein in Greek yogurt immediately goes to work slowing glucose absorption, while providing amino acids that work synergistically with blueberry anthocyanins to create what endocrinologists call optimal glucose stabilization. This enhanced metabolic protection then works with Greek yogurt's unique probiotic content to support gut health that directly influences blood sugar control, allowing for better glucose management when most of your peers are experiencing frightening spikes in these crucial measurements. But here's something even more shocking that researchers discovered recently. And this is that life-saving glucose control I promised you about diabetes reversal. Research from Johns Hopkins Medical School shows that the combination of blueberry polyphenols with Greek yogurt's protein creates what metabolic researchers call enhanced insulin sensitization, meaning your cells can actually regain their ability to respond to insulin properly, reversing the insulin resistance that conventional medicine claims is progressive and irreversible. For seniors dealing with recurring blood sugar problems and metabolic issues, conditions affecting millions of Americans over 60 and leading causes of emergency hospitalizations and sudden complications. This combination offers a natural approach that most aren't receiving until it's too late. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that the combination of anthocyanin-rich foods with high-protein dairy can significantly improve glucose tolerance and may reduce the risk of diabetic complications by up to 52% over 3 years. Now, for that shocking discovery I promised about diabetes progression reversal. A recent metabolic study from Harvard Medical School found that seniors who consumed berry yogurt combinations regularly had blood sugar regulation patterns and insulin sensitivity measurements comparable to individuals 15 to 20 years younger. Meanwhile, those avoiding these glucose-stabilizing combinations showed metabolic aging patterns consistent with accelerated diabetes development. And here's where that 150% faster diabetes progression statistic becomes terrifyingly reversible. Think about that. This simple food combination could essentially be reversing your metabolic age by nearly 2 decades. Can you really afford to ignore this information? Greek yogurt contains exceptional levels of complete proteins, probiotics, and calcium. Nutrients absolutely critical for maintaining healthy glucose metabolism and supporting the cellular processes that regulate blood sugar. Unlike regular yogurt that often contains added sugars that spike glucose, plain Greek yogurt provides sustained protein release that helps maintain stable blood sugar levels for hours. Research from the University of Tennessee found that the probiotics in Greek yogurt can improve insulin sensitivity by up to 27% within 12 weeks, while the high protein content helps maintain steady amino acid levels that support optimal glucose metabolism. The natural calcium in Greek yogurt also plays a crucial role in insulin signaling pathways that become compromised with age. What makes this blueberry Greek yogurt combination particularly effective is the glucose absorption modulation factor. The protein and fat in Greek yogurt significantly slow the absorption of natural sugars from blueberries, preventing any blood sugar spikes while allowing the beneficial anthocyanins to work on improving insulin sensitivity over time. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming berries with protein-rich dairy reduced post-meal glucose spikes by up to 35% compared to eating berries alone, while also improving insulin response throughout the day. This sustained glucose control is exactly what seniors need to prevent the dangerous fluctuations that damage organs and accelerate aging. Preparing this powerful glucose-regulating combination is simpler than you might think, and I urge you not to wait another day before your blood sugar control deteriorates further. Simply combine half a cup of fresh or frozen blueberries with half a cup of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. The timing matters. Consume this combination as breakfast or a substantial snack when your body needs sustained glucose control and your metabolism is most responsive to nutritional intervention. For best results, choose Greek yogurt with live active cultures and no added sugars or artificial sweeteners that can interfere with glucose metabolism. And consume this combination at least 5 times per week, then gradually increase to daily consumption as your body adjusts and your blood sugar begins stabilizing. The effects are cumulative, meaning the longer you maintain this practice, the more profound the glucose control benefits become. But remember, each day you delay is another day your blood sugar continues its potentially irreversible damage, leaving your metabolic system increasingly vulnerable to the devastating effects of diabetes. But we're not done yet. There's one more crucial component that transforms this from a healthy snack into a blood sugar lifesaver. And this is where that shocking glucose stabilization discovery becomes complete. Natural almond butter added to your blueberry and Greek yogurt combination provides the final piece of the metabolic protection puzzle that most seniors are desperately missing without even realizing it. Groundbreaking research published in Metabolism, Clinical and Experimental reveals that almonds and almond butter contain unique compounds that can improve insulin sensitivity by up to 30% and reduce post-meal glucose spikes by 45% when consumed regularly. Almond butter might seem like just a tasty addition, but studies show it contains powerful blood sugar regulating effects specifically targeted at glucose metabolism and insulin function. But here's where the real metabolic magic happens. Almonds are one of the richest natural sources of magnesium, a mineral that's absolutely essential for insulin function and glucose metabolism. Research from Harvard School of Public Health shows that magnesium deficiency, which affects over 68% of seniors, directly correlates with insulin resistance and increased diabetes risk. Most seniors are unknowingly sabotaging their blood sugar control by being severely deficient in this critical mineral. The healthy monounsaturated fats in almond butter also slow gastric emptying, which means food stays in your stomach longer and glucose is released more gradually into your bloodstream. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that adding almonds or almond butter to carbohydrate-containing meals reduced blood sugar spikes by an average of 30% and improved satiety for up to 4 hours. What makes this three-food combination particularly powerful is the complete macronutrient profile. You're getting antioxidant-rich carbohydrates from blueberries that provide cellular energy without glucose spikes, high-quality protein from Greek yogurt that supports steady amino acid release and insulin sensitivity, and healthy fats from almond butter that slow digestion and provide sustained energy without blood sugar fluctuations. Research from Loma Linda University tracked over 1,200 adults for 10 years and found that those consuming nuts and nut butters regularly had significantly better long-term glucose control and were 35% less likely to develop metabolic syndrome, the cluster of conditions that dramatically increases diabetes and heart disease risk. The vitamin E in almond butter works synergistically with the anthocyanins in blueberries to provide powerful antioxidant protection against the oxidative stress that damages insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. When these cells are protected and functioning optimally, your body can maintain better glucose control naturally. Additionally, almond butter provides natural appetite control through its combination of protein, fiber, and healthy fats. This is crucial for blood sugar management because overeating and frequent snacking can cause repeated glucose spikes that overwhelm your insulin response and accelerate the development of insulin resistance. Research from the University of California found that the natural compounds in almonds can actually improve the function of insulin receptors on cell membranes, making cells more responsive to insulin and better able to take up glucose from the bloodstream. This improved cellular glucose uptake is exactly what seniors need to prevent the dangerous blood sugar elevations that damage organs throughout the body. To prepare this complete blood sugar regulating meal, combine 1/2 cup fresh or frozen blueberries with 1/2 cup plain Greek yogurt and 1 to 2 tablespoons of natural almond butter without added sugars or oils. Mix gently and consume as a substantial breakfast or snack when your body needs sustained glucose control. The complete combination, blueberries, Greek yogurt, and almond butter, creates what endocrinologists call optimal metabolic nutrition for blood sugar control and diabetes prevention. You're getting natural glucose-regulating compounds for insulin sensitivity, complete proteins for sustained amino acid release, beneficial bacteria for gut health that influences metabolism, and healthy fats that provide long-lasting energy without glucose fluctuations. This isn't just breakfast. It's a prescription for metabolic health that addresses every major risk factor for diabetes while providing your body with exactly what it needs to maintain the healthy blood sugar control that could keep you out of the emergency room and living independently for decades to come. Let's dive deeper into the research that proves why this specific combination of blueberries, Greek yogurt, and almond butter could be the difference between maintaining your metabolic independence and facing the terrifying reality of diabetes complications that are devastating the senior population. The science behind these synergistic effects is both compelling and urgent, and understanding it could motivate you to take action before it's too late. The landmark Nurses' Health Study, tracking over 200,000 participants for more than 30 years, identified the exact nutrients in this combination as critical for diabetes prevention. Participants with the highest intake of anthocyanins, high-quality proteins, and magnesium had a 34% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes and significantly better long-term glucose control compared to those with lower intake. The PREDIM study, conducted across multiple Mediterranean countries and published in Diabetes Care, found that participants consuming this specific nutrient combination had average reductions in fasting glucose of 15 milligrams per deciliter and improvements in insulin sensitivity of 28% within 12 weeks. Their research showed that this combination was more effective for glucose control than many pharmaceutical interventions, without any of the dangerous side effects. Research from the University of Illinois revealed the specific mechanisms behind this blood sugar control. The anthocyanins from blueberries directly improve insulin receptor sensitivity while reducing glucose production in the liver. The whey proteins in Greek yogurt stimulate the release of incretin hormones that help regulate blood sugar naturally. The magnesium and healthy fats from almond butter support optimal insulin signaling pathways and slow glucose absorption. But here's the critical part most people miss. These compounds work through complementary pathways to provide sustained glucose control. The fiber and antioxidants slow carbohydrate absorption, while the protein provides steady amino acid release that prevents glucose spikes. The healthy fats ensure sustained satiety and energy without blood sugar fluctuations, creating optimal metabolic conditions that can't be achieved with any single food. A study from Arizona State University tracked 1,500 pre-diabetic adults for 3 years and found that those consuming this specific combination of nutrients had significantly slower progression to full diabetes and better maintained healthy glucose levels throughout the study period. Most remarkably, 43% of participants actually reversed their pre-diabetic status and returned to normal glucose metabolism. Perhaps most shocking is research from the Joslin Diabetes Center, showing that this nutrient combination can actually regenerate insulin-producing beta cells in the pancreas that conventional medicine claimed were permanently damaged. This suggests that proper nutrition can quite literally reverse years of metabolic damage, making diabetes prevention and reversal through natural means not just possible, but scientifically proven. The American Diabetes Association recently published findings showing that inflammatory markers associated with insulin resistance, chemicals that directly predict diabetes development, were reduced by up to 58% in individuals consuming this nutrient combination regularly. Chronic inflammation in metabolic tissues is now recognized as the primary driver of insulin resistance, and this simple food combination provides powerful anti-inflammatory protection. Now that you understand the life-saving science behind this glucose-controlling combination, let's transition to how you can actually make this part of your daily routine before your metabolic health deteriorates any further. If you're still with me and haven't yet clicked that like button, now would be a perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel reach more seniors who could benefit from this potentially life-saving blood sugar information. Making this powerful metabolic combination part of your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated, but it does need to happen consistently to protect your blood sugar from dangerous fluctuations. Let's break down the practical steps to ensure you get maximum glucose control benefits before another day of metabolic damage passes without these critical nutrients. First, let's talk about selecting the right ingredients for maximum blood sugar protection. And here's where that shocking diabetes reversal mechanism becomes critically important. For blueberries, choose fresh or frozen organic berries without added sugars. Frozen blueberries often have higher antioxidant concentrations due to being frozen at peak ripeness. Wild blueberries contain up to 40% more anthocyanins than cultivated varieties when available. For Greek yogurt, this is absolutely critical. You must choose plain, unsweetened varieties with live active cultures. Most flavored yogurts contain 15 to 25 grams of added sugar that will spike your blood glucose and counteract all the benefits we're trying to achieve. Look for Greek yogurt with at least 15 grams of protein per serving and minimal ingredients. For almond butter, choose natural varieties with only almonds as ingredients, avoiding products with added oils, sugars, or preservatives that can interfere with glucose metabolism. Raw almond butter contains higher levels of beneficial compounds, though lightly roasted versions are acceptable if preferred for taste. Now for that shocking fact about blood sugar timing, I promised. Research from the University of Alabama shows that consuming this glucose-regulating combination is most effective when eaten as breakfast or within 2 hours of waking, when cortisol levels naturally elevate blood sugar, and your body needs immediate metabolic support to prevent dangerous morning glucose spikes that affect up to 75% of people with blood sugar issues. The basic recipe for blood sugar control is simple, but must be followed exactly. Use 1/2 cup fresh or frozen blueberries, 1/2 cup plain Greek yogurt, and 1 to 2 tablespoons natural almond butter. Mix gently and consume within 30 minutes of preparation for optimal nutrient synergy and glucose control. That's it. This simple combination delivers powerful metabolic protection without any complicated preparation. Timing matters significantly with this glucose-controlling combination, and this is something most people get dangerously wrong. For maximum blood sugar benefits, consuming this combination when glucose control is most challenging, morning hours, provides optimal metabolic support when your body naturally tends toward higher blood sugar. For sustained glucose control, having it consistently provides your pancreas and insulin receptors with daily nutritional support when metabolic stress is highest. If you're taking diabetes medications, particularly metformin, insulin, or sulfonylureas, it's important to monitor your blood sugar closely when adding this combination, as natural glucose control can enhance medication effects and may require dosage adjustments under medical supervision. Just don't use this as an excuse to avoid this powerful metabolic protection entirely. The diabetes risks of continued poor glucose control are simply too great. Storage tip. This combination should be prepared fresh for optimal nutrient content and glucose control benefits. Greek yogurt should be kept refrigerated and used within 7 to 10 days of opening. Almond butter should be stored in a cool, dry place and stirred before use, as natural separation is normal. Never add sweeteners of any kind. Even natural ones like honey or maple syrup will counteract the blood sugar benefits. When incorporated consistently over time, this powerful glucose-regulating combination delivers metabolic benefits that extend far beyond immediate blood sugar control, and could literally be life-changing for seniors facing dangerous diabetes progression and the terrifying prospect of diabetic complications. Long-term users of this nutritional approach report notable improvements in several key areas of metabolic health that are particularly relevant to seniors who refuse to accept unnecessary glucose deterioration. Blood sugar stability improvements are typically among the first noticeable benefits. The combination of anthocyanins, complete proteins, and healthy fats helps maintain consistent glucose levels when most seniors are experiencing frightening spikes and dangerous fluctuations. Studies have shown that consistent consumption can help maintain these improvements over years, potentially reducing the severe glucose episodes and diabetic emergencies that occur with declining metabolic health. Many seniors report that they not only achieve better glucose readings, but actually experience stable energy throughout the day without the crashes and cravings that signal poor blood sugar control. Overall metabolic function becomes increasingly stable with consistent use, a stark contrast to the dangerous insulin resistance that accompanies aging and poor glucose control. The improved cellular insulin sensitivity combined with reduced inflammatory burden creates better energy utilization and glucose processing throughout the day. Users often report improved mental clarity, better sleep quality, and enhanced physical stamina after 2 to 3 months of regular consumption. Medication dependency and diabetic complications are another commonly reported long-term benefit. All three components of this combination contain compounds that support natural glucose regulation mechanisms that otherwise decline dangerously with age. Users frequently report needing lower doses of diabetes medications under medical supervision, fewer glucose events or dangerous spikes, and better overall metabolic comfort without the side effects like digestive issues, hypoglycemia risk, and nutrient depletion that come with pharmaceutical interventions. Perhaps most importantly, this natural approach helps many seniors maintain their metabolic independence longer and reduce their risk of the devastating diabetic complications, including heart disease, kidney failure, and neuropathy that destroy millions of families every year. While this combination should never replace prescribed diabetes medications without medical supervision, research suggests it may help maintain better glucose control and potentially slow the progression of insulin resistance. So now it's on you. Are you going to let this be just another video you scroll past? continuing down the dangerous path of uncontrolled blood sugar and potential diabetic catastrophe? Or are you actually going to apply this information and experience the potentially life-saving benefits for your metabolic health? The choice to improve your glucose control, reduce your diabetes risk, and protect your metabolic independence is now in your hands. But this window of opportunity won't stay open forever. Your blood sugar is causing cellular damage with each passing day you delay. Start with this simple combination today. Don't delay any longer. Begin with the full blueberry, Greek yogurt, and almond butter combination and feel the difference in your energy levels and glucose stability within weeks. Remember, consistency matters more than perfection. Even having this powerful combination 5 times per week will begin to yield noticeable metabolic benefits. Though daily consumption provides the most protection against the frightening diabetes progression I've described, here's your action plan to get started before another day of glucose damage passes. Week 1 to 2. Consume the full combination, 1/2 cup blueberries, 1/2 cup Greek yogurt, 1 to 2 tablespoons almond butter, every morning as breakfast, 5 days per week. Week 3 and beyond. Increase to daily consumption and track your blood sugar readings, energy levels, and overall metabolic symptoms. Track your progress by keeping a simple metabolic journal. Note your energy levels throughout the day, any changes in sugar cravings or glucose crashes, blood sugar readings if you monitor them, and overall sense of metabolic stability. This information will be invaluable for both your motivation and for fine-tuning your approach to maximize glucose control benefits. Remember, this powerful combination isn't just about adding something healthy to your diet. It's about potentially saving yourself from the devastating diabetes complications that destroy the quality of life for millions of seniors every year. It's about being able to actually maintain healthy blood sugar instead of watching it spiral toward diabetes, staying metabolically strong enough to remain active and independent, and enjoying stable energy without the constant fear of glucose crashes that many incorrectly assume is just part of getting older. If you found this information valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with friends and family members who might benefit before it's too late for them too. Click the share button below this video to quickly send it to someone who could use this potentially life-saving metabolic information. Blood sugar problems don't have to be faced alone, and simple, natural approaches like this are meant to be shared before the window of opportunity closes. And if something here made you stop and think about your metabolic health, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and click the bell immediately. Because if you like this blood sugar protection information, what's coming next could be even more critical for your health. Next week, we'll be exploring the powerful food combination that's helping thousands of seniors fight dangerous inflammation naturally, without risky medications or side effects. Can you really afford to miss that information? Your life may depend on it. If you enjoyed this potentially life-saving video, please give it a thumbs up and watch our next video for more critical health information you simply can't afford to miss.